version here, the second page. So in our curriculum edit, under the digital illustration, again, you open up the drive, all right, and you'll get your folder. And I've already got the folder open here. And I'm just going to download the second drawing, which is Illustrator Drawing 2. So I'm going to download that. Then I'm going to hide this. And I've got Illustrator up already with the piece that we already did. And the same thing, I'm going to click on my original layer, and I'm going to drag and drop this right in here. All right, and I'm going to hold the shift key just to kind of get it to fit to where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock this layer for now. And I'm going to get to my drawing layer. I'm going to start with these fruit. So I'm going to show you kind of a different tool to use. All right, and it's a little bit easier. So we've been using the pen tool. All right, and now we're going to mess around with the curvature tool. And the curvature tool is really interesting. All right, and what it's going to allow me to do is I'm going to click here. All right, and then I'm going to click here. And I can actually bend this line, all right, until it gets to the point where I sort of like it. Now, what's really nice about this is after I bend it, I can go back to this point and sort of move it around until I get it where I want. Now, I got to get rid of my outline here. And I can also add points while I'm working to get it to pretty much where I want it, all right? To get back to this point and start again, you would hold the Option key and click, okay? And it's the same thing. So I can click here, and again, I'm going to work on my arc. Now, I didn't necessarily care for how that did, so I just hit undo, and I'm going to click, and you can see how I got a nice arc if I click right here. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to click back up, and there's my shape, all right? And so let me show you again how I did that. Again, we're going to use the curvature tool for this one. I'm just going to click somewhere on the curve, and then I'm going to go over here and click, and then start to drag up through here. That gives me that curve. But once I click, if I don't like where the curve goes, I can grab this arc, and I can move it back and forth to whichever way I want it. All right. And again, if I hold the Option key, it'll get me back to my original point, which I can also bend. But you'll notice how they all kind of arc together. So I'm going to bring this all the way down. You see how it's really close. So the same thing, I can actually add a point here and add a point here, and I can get it to where I want. All right. And I'll go here, and I'll click. It does take a little getting used to. It's just a click and release, and you'll see how that's great, right? But when I click back this one, I want to move this up and hold down the Option key to finish. Okay. And I can click here, and you'll see that as you're messing around with it, if you add an anchor point, it does change other anchor points, but it's really easy to manipulate. All right. I could also, all right, to use the curvature tool, I could also just use a circle. All right. So I can make my circle here. You can decide which one's easier for you. And I'm going to pull this out to here, and I'm going to pull this out to here. All right. And I'm just getting it at the four ends here. Now you'll notice it's not great, but what I can do is grab the direct selection tool, pick on a point, and drag this down a little bit, click on a point, and drag this down a little bit. All right, and then I've got my shape as well. So once I've got my shape, the only thing I forgot to do was what? I forgot to add my swatches in. So before I get started again, I'm going to go here, grab the green, click and hold, and drag. Then I'm going to grab the beige, I guess you call it beige, click and hold, and drag. Grab the orange, click and hold, and drag. Grab the brown, click and hold, and drag. I need this green, click and hold and drag. And if you wanted to do all of them, you could. I'm just going to do this for now because I think you'd get tired of me hearing me say click and hold and drag. So this particular shape right now, okay, I need it to be filled with this green. So I'm going to go to my stroke color and out and get rid of none. Again, you can do that here. You can do it here. I'm going to go to my fill, and I want this dark green. So there's that shape, okay? Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the Option key and drag, and that gives me the second shape. This, I need it to be a fill of this sort of lighter color, that beige color. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold the Shift key and scale it down a little bit. And you'll notice that my Smart Guides center it in for me. Ta-da! Okay, and again, if you don't have Smart Guides, you go to View and make sure your Smart Guides are on. Sometimes the Smart Guides will be wonky. What you'll want to do is zoom in a little bit to the object you're working on, and that'll clear up your Smart Guides. In case you're wondering how I'm navigating, if I hold the space key, I get a hand, and I can move around very quickly. I find that to be super helpful. Now that I've got the outside, okay, I'm going to do the other easy part, which is the stem. The stem is real easy. I'm going to grab the pen tool, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to click and hold, and then arc, okay? And I can actually change it to a stroke. And if you hit the escape key, that'll release the pen tool, and I need the stroke to be this color. Okay, and I also need it to be much thicker. So I can go to my screen is not as big here. Let me scroll this out a little bit. I can go to my stroke here, make it pretty thick. Now I need it to be rounded at the end. All right, and all I got to do for that is pop my options here for my stroke, and I can give it an end cap that is round. All right, then I go up here. All I'm going to do is take this guy, object, arrange, send to back. And now I've got the initial part, okay? So I've showed you the curvature tool, all right, which is fun to play with. Takes a little getting used to. You should already have an idea about the pen tool, okay? And in this particular shape, I don't need the pen tool, all right? I can just use the circle and use the direct selection tool, all right? But you can go back and look at that if I want a little quick. Now, to make this part here, all right, a couple different ways you can do it. I'm okay if it's not exact. I can take my circle, all right? Oh, okay. Let's fill it with this color here, all right? And what I want to do is create this shape. So I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, all right? Click on that point. That'll activate just that point, and I'm going to drag it down, all right? And that, to be honest with you, is close enough, all right? Now I've got this, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to option click again, and option and drag just makes a copy, okay? Or I could go to edit, copy, edit, paste, but I find option and drag much quicker. This is going to be brown. I'm going to hold the shift key and scale it down, and I'm going to drop it right about in there like that. And I'm going to group this together by either hitting Command G, I select them both, or I go Object Group, either one, all right? Then, and this is where you don't have to, I'm just going to take it and drop it right here. And then what am I going to do? I am going to option drag down here, and I'm going to go to Object, Transform, and I'm just going to say Rotate 180 degrees. That flips it around, and I'm going to drop it here, all right? And I'm just going to continue, all right, to make copies and rotate them. And actually, let's take this one. Let's cheat. If you go to rotate, if you hold the shift key while you're rotating, it will snap in 15-degree increments, which is very nice for something like this. Now you'll see how my smart guides aren't helping me, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and that'll kind of help me get rid of those. And the same thing, I can take this, and this one, I'm just going to hold the shift key and do it all the way around. All right, you get the idea. I'm going to take these guys. For now, I'm going to group them together. Again, it's Command G, all right, or Object Group. And I'm going to drop it up here, and because it's grouped together, it'll center it for me automatically. You'll see that. Okay, and that's how I would complete that particular piece. Now, to do the back side of it, all right, I'm going to grab that same shape, and I'm going to option drag, because all I need is the same shape. Now, that first one needs to be in a lighter color. Then I'm going to option drag another piece, and this one is going to be in the darker color. All right, follow along so far. And technically, what I want is I want this one in front, okay? And I'm going to show you why in a second. Now, I'm going to put this over, and what I'm looking for is to create this shape. I could pen tool it, I could do all that, but there's really no need, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to get it to about the shape that I want it, and I'm going to grab these two, and I'm going to use my Pathfinder, and I'm going to click on the minus front, okay? Now you'll notice what happened is I lost my copy. So I do want to make sure that I just have another copy over here. And I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to minus front, and I'm going to take this shape and put it just like that. Uh-oh, I need to take this and send it to the back. All right. Now, if you don't like it, if it's not big enough, you can do the process over again. So again, you just need 3 copies, okay, one of them being the darker green, and you're going to take this guy, bring it in front, and if I want it to be bigger, I could get it to center here, and then I just use my keyboard, and I'm just going to tap over enough to the point where I like it. I like that. Grab them both. And again, your Pathfinder minus front. If you don't see Pathfinder here, you can go to Window, Pathfinder here. All right. Now I'll take this, drop it in, okay? And I forgot that this is the wrong color. And I'm going to give it this. Did I grab that green? I may not have grabbed that green. There we go. Okay? So there's that. And I already have the stem, okay? Oh, look, I destroyed my guy over here. That's what's great about Illustrator. Okay? I've got my stem here, right, that I'm just going to copy and paste. And I'm going to bring it right up here. And the same thing, I'm going to send it to the back. I hope that wasn't too confusing. All right, and there's my outside shape. Okay, so most of these, all right, these are all circles. Okay, the ones that come in here, all right, you could do this with the pen tool if you wanted. You could do it with the curvature tool. You could also go ahead and grab the star tool, click it, and I need a triangle, so 3 points, okay? And then what I'd want to do is simply rotate the triangle, right, to fit the angle that I want, and then let's give it the fill of the orange. I should drag this over here so I'm not cheating. Right? And I can actually go ahead and grab the direct selection tool, and I can rotate, bring these down a little bit to round them out, which is always really nice. And then I can change the shape of this until I get that proper shape. Okay, so this is kind of all basically using basic shapes. And once you have the same shape here, you can create this shape, and you use that technique that I did with the minus front to create this. I mean, you could sit here with the pen tool and try to pen these, all right? But you're going to find that it's, obnoxious and annoying and takes a lot longer than trying to go ahead and do just a minus front, okay? Because it's still not exact, right? I find minus front to be really easy because you don't have to draw the shape, okay? When you get down to this particular one, the cherries always give people a hard time. This is a good one, again, for the curvature tool. You can grab the curvature tool here, and you could go here and go here. Let me drop it right there. Remember, it's just a click and a click. And you'll notice that you kind of, it does take a little getting used to. I'm still getting used to the curvature tool. What I find great about the curvature tool is I can go around here, right, when it's all said and done, all right, and to finish is an option. So hold the option and click. I can go back if I don't like this shape, and I can grab the curvature tool, and I can bend and manipulate any point I want. All right, so the curvature tool, you can do that, or, right, I think that's the trick I showed everybody in class was you can draw a circle that's about the same size, all right, grab your direct selection tool, pull this guy down a little bit, all right, and voila, okay? And again, then it's minus front, okay? But go through, make sure you add all your colors, all your swatches, but that's how you would do the second set, okay, these colored ones, all right? Let me know if you have any questions. Drop me an email. I'll be around all weekend. Obviously, none of us are going anywhere, so let me know if you have any questions, all right? Good luck.